Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now the main headlines. The European Council passes landmark legislation to harmonise rules on artificial intelligence. Saudi Arabia receives over 260,000 Hajj pilgrims since May the 9th. Global free expression in crisis over half of the world's population, report warns. And Pakistan's Punjab Assembly passes defamation bill amid protests. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Yunus Dawood and you're watching Shia Waves live from London, only on Imam Hussein TV 3. The Council of the European Union has approved a landmark piece of legislation aimed at harmonising rules on artificial intelligence across the European Union. Dubbed the Artificial Intelligence Act, this first of its kind law follows a risk-based approach, imposing stricter rules on AI systems that pose higher risks to society. The legislation, which seeks to set a global standard for AI regulation, aims to promote the development and adoption of safe and trustworthy AI systems in the EU's single market by both private and the public sector. It also strives to protect the fundamental rights of EU citizens while encouraging investment and innovation in AI within Europe. The law categorizes AI systems based on their risk level. Low-risk AI systems will face minimal transparency obligations, while high-risk systems must meet stringent requirements and obligations to access the EU market. Notably, the legislation bans certain AI applications considered to pose unacceptable risks, such as cognitive behavioral manipulation and social scoring, predictive policing, and based on profiling and systematic using biometric data to categorize individuals by race, religion, or sexual orientation. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has welcomed over 267,000 pilgrims through its air and land ports as of May of 19th, marking the start of the Hajj season. The first flight of 283 pilgrims arrived on Thursday morning, May the 9th, from Hyderabad, India, the source mentioned. Earlier this month, the Saudi General Authority of Civil Aviation announced its preparations, allocating 3.4 million seats across 7,700 flights to serve the expected pilgrims. Tens of thousands of pilgrims are arriving Mecca and Medina daily, amid an integrated, accessible system dedicated to serve the pilgrims to perform their rituals in ease and comfort. The Hajj ritual is scheduled to commence on June the 14th and conclude on June the 19th. Through the exact dates remain subject to the official announcement of the Saudi Moon Sighting Committee. A new report has found that the state of free expression is in crisis over half of the global population. The findings paint a concerning picture as dozens of countries prepare to hold elections in 2024, with documented efforts to restrict access to information, according to the Global Expression report published by the Free Speech Group Article 19. More than 4.2 billion people, or 53% of the world's population, live in countries where freedom of expression is in crisis. Conversely, over 1/5 or 23% reside in countries considered open or less restricted. The report marks a significant deterioration from Article 19's previous annual assessment, which found that 34% of the global population lived in countries with free expression crisis. Over the past decade, the organization has documented a worsening situation in 78 countries. Article 19's Executive Director, Quinn McHugh, warned that being a savvy information consumer is critically important during these times. Of particular concern is the situation in India, which has declined in 24 out of 25 factors assessed now and is now classified as being in crisis. The report cites crackdowns on critical journalists and news outlets in the world's largest democracy as it prepares for national elections. Let us remind our respective viewers of today's headlines. European Council passes landmark legislation to harmonise rules on artificial intelligence. Saudi Arabia receives over 267,000 Hajj pilgrims since May the 9th. And global free expression in crisis over half of the world's population. Also tonight, Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Hussein Shirazi emphasizes Ghadir and Ashura during daily Scori sessions. Pakistan's Punjab Assembly approved on Monday the Defamation Bill of 2024, rejecting all amendments proposed by the opposition. The bill was met with protests from the PTI-backed Sunni Ittihad Council, or the CIC, and journalists covering the proceedings. The bill proposes a special tribunal to try those involved in fake news with fines up to 3 million rupees for allegations against constitutional office holders, and the High Court will hear the cases. The government refused to send a bill to a committee for wider consultation, stating it had already been discussed. Thoroughly, opposition members claimed that they were not present during the bill's vetting. Journalists boycotted the proceedings, calling the bill a curb on free media. The CIC tore apart copies of the bill, claiming it violated constitutional rights. The government defended the bill, with the Advocate General providing clarification. And now we'll continue with some shorter news. In celebration of the end of the current academic year, Al-Hasna Kindergarten, one of the centers affiliated to the Holy Karbala-based Imam Hussein Foundation for Relief and Development, has concluded its 7th academic year of 2023 to 2024. The kindergarten's administration, with teachers based on the global Montessori curriculum, organized a joyful ceremony attended by the students and their families to mark the end of the school year with various educational and scientific activities. The director of Misbah al-Hussein Foundation, Mr. Abdul Sahib al-Kishawan, said that Al-Hasna Kindergarten is one of the most important development projects launched by the foundation, adding that it aims to build a person's character from early childhood. The foundation has been keen on caring for childhood and building its future in line with the values of Islam, as well as the noble customs and traditions of the Iraqi society. The graduation ceremony featured activities performed by boys and girls from this kindergarten, which showed the success of this kindergarten's teaching method and its experienced teachers. The Engineering Projects Department of Al-Abbas Holy Shrine has announced the commencement of the third construction stage of Sayyidah al-Baneen courtyard project in the holy city of Karbala. Engineer Hamid Majid Abbas, the director of the supervising Iraqi construction company Ard al-Quds, stated to Shia Waves agency that Sayyidah al-Baneen courtyard is one of the strategic projects of Al-Abbas Holy Shrine. He explained that the courtyard covers an area of 10,000 square meters, with the basement occupying the entire area. The first and second floors consist of porticos covering 4,000 square meters, with a central courtyard of 6,000 square meters. He added that the company's teams have started the third stage, represented by building the concrete foundation, covering an area of 1,400 cubic meters of concrete. The basement will be air conditioned and equipped with various services, including service halls, sanitary facilities, and ablution areas. The first floor will have porticos overlooking the courtyard, while the second floor will feature large halls that will be arranged and prepared as needed to serve the visitors. It should be mentioned that these projects are part of the expansion plan of the Holy Shrine to add more areas to accommodate the increasing number of pilgrims, especially during major pilgrimages. Around 40 people were killed in a raid on a mining community in north-central Nigeria. The attack occurred late Monday in Wazir District, Plateau State, when armed men on motorcycles opened fire on residents of the Zurak mining community and set homes ablaze. The area has long been a flashpoint for conflicts over resources, with tensions exacerbated by climate change and the presence of heavily armed criminal groups. Climate change has escalated tensions over grazing land and water access and other resources, such as the state's metal reserves. In January, intercommunal clashes erupted in Plateau's Mangu town that left churches and mosques burned, more than 50 people dead and thousands displaced. 10 Tunisian organizations, including Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, have spoken about a severe setback in freedoms in Tunisia. The organization said that there has been a significant escalation in restrictions on activists, politicians, journalists, and the use of power to punish opponents under the rule of President Kais Saied. According to news reports, police arrested 10 individuals this month, including lawyers, activists, journalists, and officials from the civil society organization. Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch described these arrests as a severe crackdown and called on authorities to stop the violations and respect Tunisians' rights to freedom of expression, political rights, and civil society rights. Last week, police raided the headquarters of the Bar Association for the second time and arrested 2 lawyers in an unprecedented escalation, according to some political forces. The organizations have released their statement coinciding with the occasion of the 47th anniversary of the founding of the Tunisian Human Rights League to underscore the increasing restrictions on freedom. Social activists said today that Tunisians will not accept losing their freedom of expression, political work, union and association activities. A new study has revealed that more than a third of the Amazon rainforest is struggling to recover from recent droughts, signaling a critical loss of resilience in this globally crucial ecosystem. The research published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences analyzed that satellite data from 2001 to 2019 found a slowing down trend across 37% of the mature Amazon vegetation. The findings suggest that the world's largest tropical forest and carbon sink is degrading towards a potential tipping point as intense frequent droughts driven by human-caused climate change take an increasing toll. This means the Amazon's ability to bounce back from drought has diminished, with recovery increasingly sluggish. Deforestation and fires in the southern east region have left it most vulnerable to a catastrophic transition to a drier state. Experts warn that this is an early warning sign of large-scale ecosystem collapse if current trends continue unabated. The daily scholarly meetings of Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq al-Hussein al-Shirazi was held on Tuesday the 12th of Dhul Qa'dah, referring to the importance of the two events of Ghadir and Ashura in Islam. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi said, according to my interpretation, Islam has two wings with which it cannot fly. And those two wings are Ghadir and Ashura, and both events are highly important. Let's watch the statements of the Grand Ayatollah.
هذا اللي ذكرته أنا شوفوا مال قبل 1000 سنة أيام الشيخ المفيد رضوان الله عليه، في ذلك الوقت اللي الشيعة كانوا أقلية في بغداد. مع ذلك يوم الغدير هكذا كان. على الجميع أن كل بقدر طاقته وقدرته أنه لا يقصر في هذا المجال.
We have reached the end of today's Shia Waves. Let's remind our dear viewers of today's headlines. European Council passes landmark legislation to harmonize rules on artificial intelligence. Saudi Arabia receives over 267,000 Hajj pilgrims since May the 9th. Global free expression in crisis over half of the world's population, report warns. Pakistan's Punjab Assembly passes defamation bill amid protests. And Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq al-Hussein al-Shirazi emphasizes Ghadir and Ashura during daily scholarly sessions. You can view the latest news on Shia Waves' website, and you can send news of your city or country to be published on our news agency. Contact us at the numbers at the bottom of your screen. Thank you all for watching, and we pray to Allah the Almighty to hasten the appearance of the Master of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
With more and more victims of war and poverty, the Middle East has seen a surge in patients seeking medical aid. Iraq alone has 2.4 million people without access to any form of medical assistance. In Afghanistan, due to the lack of funding and devastating conflict, the health service is at breaking point. Imam Hussein Charity aims to